Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, Fiji, of course, is very fortunate to be blessed with a large ocean spaces that exist within its territorial sovereignty. This includes vast archipelagic waters and, of course, territorial seas. It is within these waters or areas of ocean Fiji has the most important fisheries. This is because the ocean resource in inshore areas benefit all of Fiji's citizens, provide for food security and play a large part in Fiji's vital tourism industry. Covering about 1.3 million square kilometers of space, the health and sustainability of our ocean resource is inseparable from the health of our people. Prior to the strict enforcement on conservation practices that our government introduced, Fiji's oceans had been continuously exploited for its non-renewable resources. In 2020, sir, while the world took COVID-19 as an excuse to shelve climate change priorities, Fiji in fact welcomed and aligned itself to the global 30 by 30 initiative launched by the government of the United Kingdom. The 30 by 30 initiative is a coalition of like-minded countries who have placed the health of the oceans central to the climate change priorities in order to allow the oceans to buffer anthropogenic impacts and conserve marine biodiversity. Mr. Speaker, sir, achieving our MPA target is no longer just a policy or global commitment by our government, but a legal requirement. Fiji's Climate Change Act, under Part 13, Section 81 and Subsection 2, puts into law the designation of 30% of our EEZ as MPAs by 2030. Speaker, sir, government had the foresight to create a conducive environment to ensure the enforcement of climate ambitions and determine feasible and achievable long-term targets and short-term goals. Mr. Speaker, sir, government, of course, has not limited itself to simple commitments, but has allocated significant resources and time to ensure the realization of 30% marine protected areas. In 2021, the Ministry of Economy, along with the Ministry of Environment and Fisheries, signed a MOU with the Blue Prosperity Coalition to operationalize elements of our national ocean policy, particularly 100% sustainable management of our EEZ, of which 30% will be designated as MPAs. Climate Change International Cooperation Division of the Ministry of Economy, the Secretary of the National Ocean Policy Steering Committee, is spearheading this work with the Waite Foundation to develop a 5-year work program to help achieve this plan. Speaker, sir, in addition, our blue bond issuance, earmarked for launch later this year, also complements the delivery of this target. Through its Blue Investment Fund, the fund acts as a lending vehicle to provide affordable blue debt to non-government organizations interested in establishing and scaling sustainable blue projects, ranging from tourism activities focusing on marine protected areas to ocean-based renewable energy generation. Above all, Mr. Speaker, sir, the intention of Fiji's blue bond issuance is underpinned by the need to support a blue post-COVID recovery, one that reignites Fiji's fisheries sector, fortifies Fiji's sustainable tourism brand, and supports Fiji's ambition for a sustainable and healthy ocean. In respect of the status of the MPAs, Speaker, sir, MPAs in Fiji have rapidly expanded in inshore areas. Approximately 78% of inshore areas are under some form of locally managed marine areas, or LMMAs. Currently, there are only 4 gazetted MPAs within the inshore areas, while the rest are managed under the Itauke traditional protocols of Tambu areas. Overall, the inshore MPAs are equivalent to 1.8% of Fijian waters. This means that Fiji will not be able to meet its 30% of MPA commitment from inshore areas alone. Given existing management practices inshore, there is a need for significant expansion towards Fiji's offshore waters outside of the Ngoli areas to cover the remaining 28.2% of the MPAs. The Speaker said in 2020, through a robust and systemic 10-step process approved by Cabinet, a draft map was presented and discussed at the first round of public consultations and made available for stakeholder review. The objectives of the consultations were, Mr. Speaker, say as follows. 1, to fulfill a Cabinet decision that was passed on 13 August 2019, supporting consultations on the establishment of an MPA over 30% of Fijian waters. 2, to introduce the MPA commitment and seek input on where the Fijian public would like to see MPAs and their preferred types of MPAs. 3, to generate dialogue with stakeholders to secure endorsement and or agree changes to the draft map of the national candidate sites for the proposed offshore no-take MPA, and to invite submissions to a draft network of offshore candidate MPA sites. When I say candidate, I don't mean candidates running for parliament, I mean candidate as in candidate sites. And lastly, educate and inform the public on the proposed offshore MPAs. The process was undertaken through technical representations and presentations, breakout group sessions, a tour of resource walls and tables, looking at the details of the MPAs along with the participants providing comments on the questionnaire forms provided. Mr. Speaker, sir, more consultations are being organized with a strategy to increase the sample size as well as the diversity of the participants to better reflect the view of all Fijians. This includes focused consultation with the fishing industry to look at means to establish complete no-take zones through an appropriate marine spatial planning considering existing commercial rights. No-take zones basically means you don't take anything outside from within the zone itself, only outside those zones. There's certain MPAs, as we've seen in other countries, where you can take out only certain things. The Speaker said it's proposed that the second round of the consultations take place within May and June this year for possible announcement and update on commitments in time for the next UN Ocean Conference to be held in Lisbon in late June 2022. As next steps, Fiji will also need to develop an implementation plan to achieve this target by 2030 and raise interest with private sector investors and philanthropies towards sustainable financing to meet the enforcement and management of these MPAs given our vast ocean space. Thank you, sir.
I thank the Honourable Attorney General. We move on to the next oral question for today.